Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of I Cast Fireball, an actual play 5e D&D adventure where we go through the campaign Tyranny of Dragons. I'm Thomas, your DM for this adventure, and around the table we have...
Malamara.
Lance Thalen.
And Fleeple.
To recap, Mal, having revisited her past through a dream, has found herself in this pit, this fighting pit. Unbeknownst to her how she got there, she is just being called by all the participants there, the devil. And Lance and Fleeple, in search of Malamara, were able to find a shady guard who led them to the correct location of the fighting pit. After they entered, they saw, to their shock, Malamara entering the fighting pit arena down below, just as they were announcing someone called the Devil. And that is where we join our adventurers today.
Well, there would probably be some shock on Fleeple's part when they announced the devil and then Malamar came out, because Air 2 is obviously a demon, not a devil.
How dare you?
I say as I slide my glasses up the bridge of my nose.
From the corner, the geeky man just nods his head to you like respect.
Oh, thank you, geeky man.
So, before Malamara, your battle starts. Lance and Fleeple, you see this happening, and you see those around you. This whole arena, let me just describe to you kind of the makeup of the arena, okay? You have entered in from the southwestern portion of this arena. Rimming the entire arena, there are these booths or like structures where some of them are populated by people with food. Some are populated with items, and some are there standing with bodyguards standing on either side of them. Directly across from you, there do seem to be these booths that are made of stone, that have this opaque glass to them, and you can't see in there. But you do see one of these fancy individuals walking into one of the booths from the main thoroughfare out here. Now, as I mentioned, this is sort of like a coliseum, or rather stadium seating, to where the further you go in, you step down because the seats are part of the stonework itself. From where you're currently standing to the middle of the arena, it's a gentle slope of about 100 feet, not only sloping downwards, but if you were to think like just height-wise, from where you are down to the lowest seating portion, it's about 100 feet as well. And then the pit itself is depressed a little bit further than that as well. There seems to be like and Mal, you see this being in the pit and having fought in here already once or twice. It is about 35 feet from the sand floor where you are at to the top of the pit. But the walls are fairly smooth rock to prevent or maybe discourage climbing. And to even further discourage climbing, there are sharp spikes pointing down into the pit surrounding this smaller circle to prevent people from jumping up and possibly escaping. But there is a central hole directly in the middle, which does seem to be free and clear all the way to the ceiling there. So it's just rimmed with spikes, but it's not a total cage, if that makes sense.
So, based on your description, there's no way for someone to climb out of the arena from the sides.
If they were in the arena itself, that's correct. These spikes aren't so dramatic and large to prohibit the viewing of the fighting in the pit below. They don't want to obstruct the violence going on below. They want to encourage these fight goers to be able to see everything in the pit below.
And I believe you said last time, there is a magical barrier, correct?
Yes, there is a magical barrier to also prevent magic users from escaping, or try to escape at the very least. Now, as this is occurring, there does seem to be a patron who has taken notice of Fleeple and Lance and comes up to you, both of you, and goes, "Hello, gentlemen. How can I help you tonight? Welcome tonight. Is this just one of your first times? I see from your shocked expressions on your face."
Well, I didn't know the devil was going to be here tonight. If I knew that, I would have offered myself up to go in there and fight.
Oh, we've got a spirited one here, eh? I can see you got some fire in you, some primalness that could probably do well in the pit down there. Well, I'll have to keep you in mind if you ever go in to put a bet on you.
Yeah, we're just here to watch the festivities, if you will. I didn't catch your name. Who are you? Are you part of this establishment?
Oh, yes, all right. I'm here just in the front, welcoming newcomers, directing people, answering questions if I need to be. So sorry about that. But my name is Wanillium, and he takes a very deep bow and says, "It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Wanillium here. And welcome to the Bloody Bowl." Well, I see you've heard dealings of the devil, have you? Well, you must have been a repeat offender here. Seen somebody here last night. I must have missed you last time.
Yeah, I usually go kind of under the radar. I'm quite sneaky like that, you know?
I've been so tiny I can see that.
Lance just looks at Fleeple's huge wings coming out the back, being like, okay.
Well, I mean, the results speak for themselves. I mean, he didn't see us, so obviously
That's true.
I was
That's
really
true.
sneaky.
You are very sneaky. You are very, very sneaky.
You bringing your friend around. Let me introduce you to some of the locations that we have around here. As you can see, we have our general viewing area to see all the blood, all of the fighting that you hope to see, with the devil being the forefront for tonight's event. And of course, over here, you've got your betting pits. You can go over there and you can bet on upcoming fights, take some odds, and it's usually where most of the people go to try to make a quick buck, if you get what I'm saying. You know, because it's betting.
Yeah, of course.
Gambling.
Yeah, I've sworn off gambling after some recent experiences, but I appreciate the offer.
All right. Of course. And of course, if we've got over here, if you're feeling a little famished, we've got some delicacies of Neverwinter brought to you by some of the finest chefs that we could scrounge up on short notice. And you look over there and some of the people presenting food, like one person is clearly ready for it. And he's like, all right, this is my area, this is my stove, this is my, I brought lots of food here. And he's really into it. But some of the other ones are vendors who were not aware that they were going to be selling food in an establishment like this, so some of them have some fear in their eyes, and they're like, what is going on around here? But just as this is going on, Malamara, you have found yourself in the pit yet again, being thrust into the Bloody Bowl arena. Everybody above you is chanting your name. Devil, 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 devil. And you have already fought one fight by yourself earlier today against a armored individual, and you only took a little bit of damage there, not too much for wear, and you were able to knock them out, and they were able to drag them away. But from the stories you've heard of being thrust into the Bloody Bowl, anything could happen and anything could jump out at you. It's all about raising the excitement, raising the stakes here in the Bloody Bowl. And so you're unsure necessarily what to expect. So, with that in mind, when you see two of the doors across from you open up, you take a sigh of relief, seeing that it's just two more individuals, one of them being a red tiefling who has this longer jacket and seems to be holding on to a dagger in one hand and a rapier in the other. And another individual who is bare-chested and wearing very loose pants walks out and a bald head. And both of them seem to be standing on the opposite side staring at you. This pit itself is about 60 feet in diameter, and currently there is just sand populating the area around you. So there are no obstacles between you and them. I'm going to need you to roll initiative, Malamara.
Oh, no!
You said it was 35 feet from pit to top. How far across would you say that the pit is? What's the diameter of the pit?
Yeah, 60-foot diameter.
60 feet. Okay. My initiative is 19.
While you're getting that set up, could I have a discussion with Fleeple?
Oh, absolutely. I'll just be right over here if you need me, helping me out. I apologize.
Oh. I didn't say that to the guy, but...
Well, I assume if you want to have a conversation with people, it's not with this guy present.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fleeple is very distracted looking over at the finest delicacies that Neverwinter has to offer. Looking over there to see, do we got any, ossobuco over there? We got any, ribeye cap steaks? What do we got going on here?
Chutney? Chutney?
We'll get to the delicacies in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, Lance is gonna, be like, yeah, if you'll just excuse me, I just need to talk to my compatriot here. And Lance will kind of lean over to Fleeple, kind of in a whispered tone, and be like, okay. Malamara is in a pit, is fighting. What do you think? What do you think we should do? Are we watching? Are we helping? Should we get her out?
Well, I mean, fighting is the one thing that Malamara does better than anything else.
Fleeple, it's just me and you. You don't have to do the accent.
Okay, fine, but I mean, maybe we could maybe we could pass ourselves off as Malamara's managers or something. Because I mean, Malamara likes fighting. Just look at her down there.
Yeah, but that's not I don't think she's in the best headspace.
So, Mal, you're actually going to go first. So, we could actually continue this conversation while Mal and I continue this fight. That's literally what's occurring on. So,
should Jacob and I roll initiative to see when our conversation happens?
No.
Okay.
You don't have to do that. You can just chime in. We've already had really crunchy battle episodes. I don't want to get crunchy with just conversation.
I'll turn real quick before the battle begins officially. I'll turn to that guy who's kind of talking to us, who's probably standing off the side, and be like, excuse me, did you say these fights are just to surrender? Are they to the death? What's the protocol?
Oh, yeah, well, it just depends on the night, depends on the fight, depends on the crowd, if you get what I'm saying. Depends on the contestants themselves. Some of them do have specific rules. This one, it's just to bloody each other up a little bit. It's not one of the main events, if you see where I'm getting at.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, Mal, what are you doing?
Because they are all the way across the 60-foot diameter, Mal will swing both arms around in a circle and blast an Eldritch Blast out of each hand at the two opponents.
Absolutely. And what are your Eldritch Blasts? How are they looking? What are they looking like, Mal? It's been a while.
It has been a while. Let me roll my... So, as Mal spins her arms around and blasts these Eldritch Blasts out... And clearly something is going on with her, because instead of the electric blue that they usually are, they are much more tinted with black, and they actually scatter from her hands and they go way off center, which is odd for Mal because I rolled a natural 1 and an 11.
Oof. Yes. These as she lines up her shot, so to speak, her hands at the last moment, the force is too much, and the eldritch blasts, they fly away out of her hands. Both of them look to each other, and they nod to one another, and they start charging forward to you, Mal. Do you charge to them, or do you hold your ground?
I'm going to hold my ground.
Okay, so they charge to you. One of them...
Fleeple, there's obviously something wrong with her. She usually hits those dead on. She's way off.
Thanks for noticing that, Lance.
So the one with the dagger is actually going to throw a dagger at you, but it's going to be with disadvantage because of the distance. Yeah, it's only a 10, so that's going to miss terribly.
She ducks.
And then the other one is actually going to throw a dart at you. You don't see many darts out here, also with disadvantage. That one is a 15.
That still misses. She ducks the other way, and it flies past her into the wall.
As you see the dart fly by you, you see it has the faintest tinge of green to it as something drops from the needle, and you're like, okay. But they start to close the gap, but that is the first round of combat. Mal, it's actually your go. So the, we'll just call him the monk is 20 feet away from you, directly in front of you, and the other individual is 10 foot back. She is about 30 feet away from you.
All right, Mal will now close the distance. She wanted to test out how far that they could actually run. And as she's running around her hand, she gathers that spectral energy. And as she runs right past the monk, not leaving his attack of opportunity space, she will smash her hand into the ground and cast Arms of Hadar on both of them.
Excellent. As you charge forward with your sword as a bluff, you go to attack. He moves, and then you just use your momentum to put your back to his, so that you can get past him, but in between him and the tiefling here. And so they're both within a 5-foot range of you currently, and you slam your hand into the ground, casting Arms of Hadar. Yes?
Yes. They both must make a strength saving throw.
Great. The monk got a natural 20, but the red tiefling only got a 12.
And that fails because my spell save DC is 13.
I forgot your spell save DC is so low.
Oh yeah, because my charisma sucks as a as a warlock. Okay. The other will take 9 points of necrotic damage and cannot take reactions until their next turn. They are not restrained. They just can't take reactions.
Ooh.
And the monk will take 4 points of necrotic damage.
Sounds good. That is your action. You found yourself in between the both of them, readying yourself. They grunt in pain as they yelp out. The monk is going to first, having dodged out and is no longer being held by this spectral limb, this spectral tentacle, is going to just whap, 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 smack you in the face and start punching.
Yeah, that's a rough time.
It's only a 15 to hit for the first,
That misses.
13 for the second,
That also misses. I might live.
but a 24 for the third.
Yikes. Yes, that hits soundly.
Oh, you only take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Don't say only.
And then the tiefling, they're going to slash you with a rapier with one attack here. It's only a 12 to hit, and so you dodge out of the way, and right over your head is the rapier. And then their second attack is going to be a natural 1. And they almost drop their rapier as the tentacle just pulls them back in place. Back to Fleeple and Lance. This one ought to be a good fight here. I mean, you've got 2 against 1, but the devil, I think she can hold her own. She's been doing some pretty crazy things down there. You should have seen her when she first came in. She had this, darkness in her eyes, and it seemed like all the blackness in the room was being sucked towards her, and she even fought off the people trying to pull her off of the arena last night. Oh, it was wicked.
Oh, wow, that just sounds fan-freaking-tastic.
That must have been when you were here, seeing her fight, and which was why you came back.
Yeah, I just can't help wondering, though, how'd you land a fighter as fierce as this?
Oh man, well she came out of nowhere. That's one reason why we call her the devil. Apparently she was causing a ruckus up there, as he points upwards to the streets of Neverwinter. And so the constables, they tossed her down here and letting her get her anger and aggression out here.
Yeah, that's a great way to do policing. Very, very effective, for sure.
Hey, well, we can definitely benefit from it, can't we? Now, can I interest you folks in some of these fine, I was gonna say foodies over here. Oh my god.
As soon as he says that, my heart sinks, and I'm like, maybe this isn't going to be so great after all.
Or do you have any questions that I can help answer for you?
Yeah, if somebody's interested in, like, an audience with the devil, how can we make that happen?
Oh my. Well, I don't know if anybody would want an audience with her just because, in case she would bite your face off.
Well,
but
here's the thing. I'm sitting here right now asking, so obviously someone does want an audience with the devil.
Very true, very true, very true. I might be able to see if I can arrange an audience, but it's probably not going to come cheaper, those VIP experiences and all.
Yeah, VIP experiences,
And I pull out a single platinum piece, and I just kind of like start acting like I'm picking my teeth with it.
He cocks his head and just starts nodding very slowly. I'll see what I can do, as he touches his nose and points at you. So, I'll see what I can do.
I'll be like, yeah, my compatriot here, he likes to get a little crazy around the betting arena. We would love an experience like that. Just give us a second. And I'm going to turn to Fleeple and I'm going to say, kind of whispering, okay, it seems like Malamara's doing okay. If, though, we need to get out in a hurry, would you be able to cause a very, very big distraction? If that's the case. Maybe she'll just wipe the floor and we'll be fine.
I mean, I've got thunder waves, I've got moonbeams, I've got phase spirits, you name it.
Okay. I think the best place for distraction, Fleeple, I'm just looking at dead in the eye. I'm going to trust you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best place for a distraction is down by that betting table. Now, I know you had a taste for gambling earlier. Can you not risk everything down there while you're betting?
Now, you see, last time I was under the influence of alcohol, and people do terrible things under the
And had
influence.
a supervisor.
Yes, I turn towards the TV and say, alcohol is a terrible thing, is it not? And then turn back to Lance and say,
I think I'll be all right this time around.
All right. I'm going to ask about this. I'm going to see if I can somehow figure out about this barrier and see if there's some way to... Because if we need to get out in a hurry, we need this gone.
Mal, it is your go. You are between these two enemies.
That stupid monk is so fast.
Monks are quick, yo.
Mal, taking that damage and starting to get angry, will this time lace her fingers together, and she's going to smash the ground again and cast Arms of Hadar again. And as the tendrils come up, after they wrap around my opponents and do the necrotic damage, they suck into Mal, and as a bonus action, she will enter a rage using the totem spirit Eagle. And the tendrils then become black spectral wings behind her.
Ooh, very nice. So as you... that's another strength saving throw, I believe.
Correct.
I'm just waiting for one of those totems to be like, and I'm going to use the totem of the snow bunny. And I'm like, oh.
So that is a 18 and a 18.
Perfect. I did 11 points of damage, so they take 5 each. And with my movement, I will run back toward the wall that they came from, so through them. And the totem of the eagle, they have disadvantage on attacks of opportunity.
Ooh, so as you slam your sword into the ground again, it being wrapped right now, it causes this blackness to emerge again, but in eagle form, and you hear this like eagle sound from the audience, but it's this warped, deep, dark eagle sound as it caws into the sky. As these individuals get sucked towards Mal, she hops over the monk and runs away back to her current location 30 feet away. They both are going to try and take attacks of opportunity against you, but with disadvantage. So the first one, the red tiefling, that still is a non-natural 20 to hit.
That hits.
And then the monk. Oof, that one's only a 10.
That misses.
The tiefling, that's going to be 6 points of piercing damage to you as you run away, halved. And so you run back to the entrance, and this darkness seems to be following Malamara, leaving a trail to where anybody could follow her with her eyes, but not clearly see what's going on. And Mal, you feel strong. The tiefling is going to go now, and they are going to, they've got a couple daggers, and they're going to just toss 2 daggers towards you. One is a 17 and one is a non-natural 20 again.
They both hit.
All right. So that's going to be 8 points of piercing damage total for the 2 attacks, halved to 4. And then the monk is going to run after you, and they are going to multi-attack against you. Pow, pow, and then a third punch as well. So the first one, 18.
That hits.
14.
That misses.
And a 10. Dang it.
That misses.
Okay. Oof. Okay, that is 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Halved is 5?
5. Yeah, 5. And then you need to make a dexterity saving throw, please. As the first attack, you block, second attack, block, but then the third one comes out of nowhere and with like open fist punches you right in the chest, knocking you backwards, trying to knock you prone on the ground.
19.
19 is a save. You skid, very anime style, 5 feet behind, and you catch yourself digging the sword into the ground, keeping you upright, and you look up, and the darkness is just seeming to enveloping your vision, but you can see clearly this monk, your next prey, your next victim. It's your go, Mal.
Did that tiefling move at all?
No, tiefling stayed where they're at, so that is about 35 feet away.
Good. Then I will just swing at that monk with all of my might with my sword.
And then after this round, we'll get to Fleeple and Lance.
I will reckless attack the monk.
Thank you for declaring it, I should say. Instead of after the fact.
That was a natural 20.
Oh, yeah.
Natural 20.
A booyah! I agree.
A booyah. So that's a 27 to hit.
27 to hit is a hit.
That's 13 slashing damage to the monk.
Ooh.
And
That monk
Mal will
hurts.
movement, and with the eagle totem, I can move. I can take dash as a bonus action, and will dash completely across the arena again. Disadvantage attacks, opportunity attacks from both of them again.
Okay, so you are choosing to run past the tiefling, so that you are within 10 feet of the tiefling then?
You know what? No. She's going to run around the outside of the ring, because she'll be able to make the whole 60-foot diameter. So she only has an attack of opportunity from the monk.
All right, monk's gonna go. That hurt them quite a bit. So, but in their haste, they try to go pop, pop right to your face. That's a non-natural 20, so that's a success. Mm-hmm. That is going to be 6 points of bludgeoning damage, halved to 3. All right, sounds good. And then you are now completely on the other side of the arena. The tiefling is 30 feet away from you still, directly in the center of the arena. The monk being 60 feet away from you, just marveling at how fast you are. Not used to seeing somebody faster than them.
When a monk admires someone for how fast they are, you know it's real.
The tiefling, however, they are going to run up to you with 30 feet, and they are going to wail on you. They have advantage because you're reckless attack. So, first one, oh, man, that is a 15 to hit.
That misses.
And the second, 18 to hit.
And that hits.
Oh, okay. And that is 12 points of piercing damage for you, half down to 6.
How's everybody looking?
I'm looking pretty good.
Yeah, Fleeple and Lance are like, yeah. They definitely don't need any foodies right now, but they're looking pretty good. The monk is really hurt. The monk is like actively bleeding, holding their arm, but the tiefling seems to be doing okay. They've taken a little bit of damage, but they're doing all right.
What about Mal?
I am about half hurt.
Half hurt. Okay.
Looking incredibly dark and menacing and controlling this battlefield right now. Lance, Fleeple. Fleeple, you make your way over to the betting table, right?
Indeed I do. Just
do you grab some foodies on the way?
What kind of foodies are available?
You don't have to grab foodies. You don't have to grab... I'm not a food connoisseur myself. Thomas is not a food connoisseur, so... But as you pass by, one of them is, as I mentioned, some are like, here, you can have, we've got soup here for anybody who wants it. And then another person's like, get your nuts, get your piping hot nuts over here. But then the final one is like, you individual, you my friend, you look like somebody who enjoys a good slab of meat. Come over here. I have just the thing for you. I have the finest steak in the world. I have the finest meat you can ever consider here. Please, no, you're walking away. You will be back.
Yes, I head on my way over to the gambling table, and I am essentially just like looking over to Lance, seeing if he's like sending me any messages, and if I get any sort of indication from Lance that it's time for a distraction, I'm just going to summon Star Platinum right on top of the betting table.
Oh, very nice, very nice. So you are just prepping and waiting and looking. That's what it sounds like.
You're not going to make a bet?
I'm not going to make a bet.
He is in control. Fleeple's grown so much.
I no longer put myself under the influence of mind-altering substances, I say as I turn to the camera.
Star Platinum, although not summoned right now, it pops out from behind Fleeple, arms folded, and just nods their head. Fantastic. And Lance, you're going to go down to kind of investigate a little bit of this magical barrier, right?
I was going to talk to the guy, and I was going to, in doing this investigation, I was going to just talk to the guy real quick and go, now, I hope you're a little bit of a wobbling jaw here, that you can tell me. My friend here is way into, he likes the carnage of it all, likes to place the bets. That's why he's obviously going down to the betting table.
Oh, he's not the only one, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm more interested in the behind the scenes, the putting on of the show, if you will, the technical side. And I'm fascinated by this barrier. What is keeping this in place? Do you have like a person who constructs this and is holding it, or is it just part of the arena itself?
Well, not to worry here. We keep the protection of our patrons the number one priority here. That way, no one can throw a sword out and try to impale one of the viewers here. I mean, although that would be entertaining, that is not what we're about here at the Bloody Bowl.
Well, so, of course not.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in the why. I'm interested in the how, because that I would really like to pay my respects to the constructor of this.
Friend, we can't just reveal all of our state secrets here. What if somebody were to try and create their own Bloody Bowl across town? We'd have competition there. We wouldn't have a monopoly on the market.
Lance will take out his own platinum piece and say, are you sure that jaw can't wobble a little more?
Roll a persuasion check.
All right. Oh, I'm not good at those, but okay. That's going to be 11.
11. Well, I can respect the curiosity of a newcomer here, but as I mentioned, Gotta keep things somewhat close to the chest if we're gonna maintain a business. It is a business after all.
Well, you can't fault me for trying.
No, I certainly cannot. But it looks like you have a keen mind. I bet you could figure some of it out. But
I'm gonna check it out. I gotta respect the craftsmanship here, and I'll head down.
And enjoy the time, enjoy the battle.
Thank you, Katney. And I'll head down then to the arena itself and try and, like, the border of it, to try and see if I can figure out what's holding this thing in place.
Yeah, go and roll a perception check. It'll be that DC will be a little bit lower here for you, since you're up close, but Fleeple, if you'd like, you can attempt a perception check up where you're from, just to see, like, what Lance is doing, or if you wanted to get in on this as well.
Yeah, I'll give myself a perception, why not?
It'll just be a little bit of a higher DC for you because you are a little further away is all.
I'm rolling low. I got an 11.
I got a 23.
There you go.
Whew. So that 11, Lance, the only big thing that is grabbing your attention are the intensity that Malamara has as she and this tiefling, they go back and forth. She's slamming into the tiefling with her sword, and the tiefling is trying to deflect and block with the rapier. Just in this pseudo round that we're having right now, the tiefling actually takes an additional 8 points of damage from Malamara as she just wham, just wailing into them. And they just are grunting back before the monk comes in and goes papa up Malamara, who only takes 2 points of bludgeoning damage as well. So Mal, just go ahead and notate that as well.
Okay, this whole talking in between things is messing with my tactics here. There was a very specific reason that I had this set up this way.
I see. Well, we'll say that Malamara...
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
I apologize. They backed up a little bit.
Okay.
But as you're looking, Lance, you're trying to gauge exactly what is going on with this barrier. You go up and you just touch it, and it sparks you a little bit. You're like, but you find that you can put your hand on it and push up against it a little bit if you'd like. It is a little painful, and it is actively like sparking your hand, like you're like, and drunk guy next to you goes, I wouldn't try putting your hand in it any further than you already have, brother. I've tried it, believe me, and it's not worth the time trying to get close to the action. As he takes a long swig of his ale, and he goes, "Go the devil! You're doing good stuff down there. You're doing the work." But Fleeple, as you see Lance push, you see the sparking. You see a ripple occur in the shield itself. The ripple travels upward, and as it does, you can see that this stone pit is complemented by a stone column that seems to be the same diameter directly above it as well. And inside that stone column, you can see that there are these pulsing blue items up there, whatever they may be. Something is pulsing blue, and those ripples get sucked up by one of those pulsing items in there. But it does seem to be inside that barrier itself. So that's kind of like what you're picking up with that barrier. Malamara will jump to you. And I'm sorry, Mal. We can keep the same location on the battlefield there.
We're just all on the side that I started from, right?
Correct. If you're okay with it, the monk is within 15 feet of you or directly next to you if you'd like. And then the tiefling would be 15 feet away from you.
Mal will run. Shoot. No, she won't, because it doesn't matter.
None of this matters. It's a game. It's all a game.
None of it matters. Mal will, if she has her sword, I assume that they have not necessarily ransacked all of her belongings. Do I still have my Ioun stone?
Yes, you do actually, and it's very odd. They took it from you, but then as you're about to go in, they literally gave you all of your stuff back and tossed you into the arena. So you have your Ioun stone as well.
So Mal will move out of their range 30 feet.
Yep, so disadvantage from the monk, right?
Correct.
That's only an 8.
Great. That misses. And as she gets out into the middle of the field where everybody can see now that it's a spectacle, as a bonus action, Mal will drop her rage, and those eagle wings behind her almost turn to water as they melt to the ground and splash out with that dark energy staying on the sand. And she'll pull out her Ioun Stone and cast Mirror Image on herself.
That's awesome, yeah, and as you drop this darkness and it imprints into the sand, there's a huge uproar, and Lance, it's deafening being so close to the pit itself as people yell, they're chanting, "Devil, devil!" Some are trying to throw things into the pit for the devil, and they get rebuffed by that shocking magical barrier there. Fleeple, every single time, the ripple going up towards those same sigils or items, whatever they may be, inlaid in the stone column itself. Mirror image being cast on you, Mal. There are now 4 versions of you, I believe.
It's me and 3 illusory versions.
Correct. And as all of them are standing, glaring, holding the sword, looking at the monk and the tiefling, they all raise their hand and they beckon for the 2 enemies to charge Malamara. So, and that is what they do. The monk runs up, and they're going to take their first jab at you, Mal. It's only a 12 to hit. That's a miss.
That misses.
An 11 to hit. That's a miss. And a non-natural 20. That's a hit. Do they hit your mirror image?
They hit one of my duplicates, yes.
They dodge, and then right through one of your mirror images. There's only 2 other defenses in front of you. And then the tiefling is going to run up, actually, surprisingly, and is going to use its bonus action to dash. And it's going to get right up next to you, Mal, and it's going to take 2 attacks as well. 18 to hit.
An 18 hits. And hits my second duplicate.
And then the next one is a 24 to hit.
Which also hits. And that is my last duplicate.
All 3, pop, pop, pop. And just leaving Mal glaring down these 2 individuals. Mal, it's your turn now. They are right in front of you.
Well, as a bonus action, she will re-enter that Eagle Rage. The blackness that was on the sand where we were 30 feet away slithers across the sand and up her back again and creates those wings. And she will use her Githyanki sword to slash at the monk.
Excellent. And you're using the +2 on this, yes?
I forgot about my rage damage. Oh well. That is a 24 to hit the monk.
Monk is a hit.
12 points of slashing damage.
As you smack into this monk, you hit him, you slash him, and you follow up with just a punch to the hilt of the sword, the pommel of your sword, and just the monk instantly crumples and falls to the ground, unconscious.
Excellent.
Leaving the tiefling staring at you in horror. Fleeple, Lance, anything extra you want to do here?
I'm just going to point at Fleeple and cast message and just say, all right, I'm not sure how this barrier works. I've tested it. It's not pleasant to touch, but I'm not quite sure. Any leads?
I am going to point directly up at those 3 shiny little dots and say,
I don't know exactly what they do, but that's the source of our magic.
Good to know. I'm going to, Lance is going to then back up kind of obviously I would imagine, there's like stairs leading down to kind of the overlay of the pit. He's going to back up those stairs a little bit so he can get a cleaner image of those and also a good view of the pit so that if he sees any kind of danger Malamar might fall in, he might plan something out. And then I guess he'll just send, if it's a couple rounds that we've done, he'll just send one more message back to Fleeple and just say, all right, I think we're just in a position. We'll watch and wait. If crap goes down, I will send you the code word.
And what's the code word?
You'll know it when you hear it.
All right.
It's a long code word.
Foodies.
Oh my gosh.
I just love that one guy's selling soup. I can imagine like at an MMA fight, like a bunch of people with soup bowls just like, ooh.
Come get your Zuppa Toscana.
Zuppa Toscana, right? Yeah, you get it with your Miller. All right, Mal, it's your go. You and the tiefling. Tiefling's looking a little horrified.
Should be the tieflings, because it just took out the
Oh,
monk.
yes, you're right. It is the tiefling. The tiefling's going to try and go for you.
I'm an
Thank you.
honest D&D player.
You don't just make up rounds. I'm teasing.
You meant 2 rounds. The monk had to get to me. That was 2 rounds.
18 and a 15.
The 18 hits and the 15 misses.
All right. Oof, that is going to be 12 points of piercing damage halved.
So 6.
Yes, and now it is your turn, Mal.
Mal will smile savagely at this tiefling.
It's terrifying.
And in that odd voice with Air 2 overlapping hers, she says to the tiefling, "Some people call you a devil. Do you want to see why they call me the devil?" And she will slash with that Githyanki sword. That's a 21 to hit.
It's 21. Great, that's a hit.
That's another 12 points of slashing damage. And as she slashes, she goes for the tiefling's horns and tries to use that dark energy to scar the tiefling horns.
Well, as that was their hit points that were keeping them conscious, you slash them. They scream in agony just as you grab their horn. The final scream as you are charring and burning their horn with that darkness and that blackness. And the crowd erupts in this just fanatical scream as these fans are clamoring and chanting your name. Money is being exchanged. There seems to be somebody walking up and down the aisles, handing out money, collecting money from people, grabbing tickets and things like that. As you let go of the tiefling, they fall to the sand pit floor.
And Mal lets out a primal roar and lets that eagle shape. It comes off of her and goes up in the field of magic and kind of explodes out and rains down, giving that show to the audience. Air 2 is a showman.
Absolutely. And Lance and Fleeple, you see this magnificent display here with Mal. Her not being in danger anymore, it appears. Her being able to take care of herself. And anything in particular that I know both of you are just kind of waiting and seeing, but does this change what you would like to do currently, or are you just observing?
I'm good to still just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm waiting. If she's just escorted out of the arena and that's the fight, then we're going to go with Fleeple's VIP idea. And if something else happens, then we'll see where it leads.
As Mal is holding on to this applause, holding on to this cheering, the door behind her opens up. And she eventually does walk into the doors, away to the same doors that she was brought into the arena. What is Lance and what is Fleeple feeling right now is what I should have asked earlier. How are you feeling with this display of power, with this current situation that you find Mal in?
I think Mickey said something very unique that I think Lance and Fleeple both feel, because she, did the whole cool eagle thing, but I thought that was so cool, Mickey. You didn't say Malamara is doing a show. You said Air 2's a showman, and that really freaks Lance out, feeling like, I'm not watching my friend right now, I'm watching something else.
Yeah, I was actually thinking to myself, like, wow, I didn't realize Malamara had such a flair for the dramatic, and turns out she doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, Lance is definitely scared for his friend.
Yeah, I think back to like the conversation that Lance and I had, I think on the way to Candlekeep, in terms of like something's going on with Mal and it might come back to bite us at some point.
And both of you giving each other a knowing look, seeing Malamara not act herself, but be very capable down in that arena. That same individual, Wanilium, walks up to you and goes, "Oh, what I tell you, the devil always gives a good show. Glad you two can make it here. Now listen, if you're looking for that VIP experience, I think I have pulled a few strings here, as long as you're able to provide a little bit of incentive for us to grant you such a VIP experience."
I mean, what kind of incentive are you looking for?
Oh, just a little bit of what you were showing me earlier is all. It's just a generous donation to the Bloody Bowl for one of our exclusive privileges to see our exclusive champion of the devil.
Well, sweet magnolias, we'd love to experience that treatment. What exactly is the contribution?
Oh, well, it's merely a donation. It's not something set in stone. So why don't you follow me and I'll lead you right to her.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right. As the both of you follow after Wanilium and the Bloody Bowl, as the chanting starts to die down, and it's just a lot of buzzing conversations talking about the devil, and be like, "Did you see her? Did you see the darkness envelop her? Oh man!" And seeing like, "I could have sworn her eyes were red. I could see him from up here." And other conversations being like, "Oh, that's the devil themselves, the devil incarnate. She's here to bring justice. She's here to bring justice back to Neverwinter, I tell you." And you hear these unsettling conversations of these people revering, honoring, and being in awe of Malamar's performance. It definitely leaves you uncomfortable as you walk deeper into the depths of the Bloody Bowl through a side cave to go meet your friend, the devil. And that is where we're going to end this week's episode of iCast Fireball.
Yeah, my friend the devil. A wonderful thing to say.
I just got this idea of what might happen. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting.
Well,
I don't like it. It's just a game.
thank you.
It's just a game.
Thank you, everybody. Especially thank you for Mickey for allowing me to let those rounds be a little loose and fluid there to keep the story progressing. I'll try to minimize the amount of times I do that.
No, I honestly, like, story-wise, that made way more sense. Yeah, it really did, like, make more sense to just go through some of those things and just be like, this is the damage, because they were talking.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Appreciate my, it's just a game, folks. It's not like people are judging me listening to this actual play podcast or anything. Just a game. Well, thank you to my players, Ned, Jacob, and Mickey, but thank you, listeners, for joining us on this week's adventure of iCast Fireball. If you like what we're doing here, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on the podcatcher of your choice. It lets us know that you like what we're doing, and it gets us into other people's recommended feeds, which helps get the fire going and spreading the word out there. Having been Josh on the episode, we've gotten a huge influx of brand new users, or new listeners, I should say. So welcome, new listeners. We are glad that you're along for the ride, and we hope that you stay and come check us out and see where the crazy Jenk squad will lead us next. If you also like what we're doing, please consider following us not only on our social media feeds at ICASTFireball20, but consider leaving us, going to our Ko-fi account and leaving us a donation to help support, keep the lights on, pay for some admin fees that we've got over here, and we would just really, really appreciate that. If you want to leave something a little bit longer than a 5-star review, you can shoot us an email at icastfireball2020@gmail.com, where we get a ton of people reaching out to us. Don't want to forget our sister podcast, Improv Tabletop, where they have recently ended their first campaign in the Avatar Legends world. Oh my goodness, Ned. Well done. How fun, and just good job. Just absolutely good job. Taking that brand new system, running with it, making it an actual play. Honestly, round of applause for Ned. He did such a fantastic job as the keeper over there. I highly recommend you go listen to him and his 3 players that he has over there. And they've got new stuff coming out too, so they're not leaving the world of the Avatar quite yet. So stay tuned for season 2 that they've got coming up. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and fellow wacky adventurers. But until next time, I'm Thomas, your DM, and around the table we have
Malamara, the devil.
Lance Thalen.
And Fleeple.
Let's keep that fire going, and we'll see you all next time.